Present-day Parliament building along Parliament Road in Nairobi is among Kenya's most iconic landmarks. This Victorian architectural masterpiece is where our elected representatives meet to make laws that affect our country and by extension anyone living in it. But Parliament building hasn't always been on this spot. The journey that led to the laying of the foundation stone of Parliament as we know it today began over 100 years ago. Being a British colony, the first recorded sitting of Parliament was that of the Colonial Legislative Council in August 1907. It was composed of 7 members and was chaired by the then Governor, Sir James Hayes Sadler. The all-whites Legislative Council comprised 4 ex officio and 3 official members, all nominated by the Governor. This first meeting was held in an old wooden and corrugated iron sheets building off the then White House Road, where the current Railway Golf Club stands, off the present-day Haile Selassie Avenue in Nairobi. For the next 13 years, the Legislative Council met in that humble building or at Government House in either Nairobi or Mombasa. In 1920, accommodation for the Legislative Council was rented in the Memorial Hall, which is today's Bank of India, along Kenyatta Avenue, where it was hosted until 1953. During the period of tenancy at Memorial Hall, various milestones were achieved. In October 1944, the Governor nominated Eliud Mathu to represent the African interests in the Council by taking the place of one European who represented the Africans. Mathu became the first black African member of the Legislative Council. In 1946, one more African was appointed to replace another European in the Council. And in 1948, the Governor, who had all along presided over the Legislative Council, appointed a Speaker, Mr. W.K. Horn, to take his place and to preside over future meetings. This marked the beginning of speakership in the history of the Kenyan Parliament. By the time the foundation stone of present-day Parliament building was being laid in 1952, the number of African-nominated members had increased to 6 and Clerk A.W. Purvis appointed to the Legislative Council. After over 30 years in the Memorial Hall, the Legislative Council moved into the current location of Parliament buildings in the city square of Nairobi. These buildings were officially opened by the then Governor, Sir Evelyn Baring, on Tuesday 16th February 1954. In May 1956, Her Majesty the Queen of England gave authority for Kenya's legislature to possess a mace. In November 1956, a mace which was made of mvuli was placed on the table of the House during the opening of the 11th Council. The official mace, made of ivory and silver gilt, was completed and presented to the Speaker by the Governor at the sitting of the Council on 20th April 1958. The mace symbolizes the authority of the House and the Chair and is placed on the table with its head facing the majority or government side.
I see a great future for you. Overseas trips, business success, and irresistible to women.
Wow, all that from my hand?
Not this hand, love. That one.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The first Lancaster,
the livelihood, and perhaps even the physical safety of all the citizens of Kenya, of whatever race or creed.
there were to be 41 senators elected to represent the administrative districts and 117 constituency elected members of the House of Representatives. 12 specially elected members chosen by the House sitting in an electoral college, and the Attorney General as an ex officio member. each house was to elect its own speaker. In February 1963, final constitutional review and consultations were held in Nairobi. A general election was held in May 1963, in which KANU, led by Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, won the overall majority against the other parties. Kenya's internal self-rule commenced on 1st June 1963, popularly known as Madaraka Day. And on 12th December 1964, Kenya became a republic, with the day now observed as Jamhuri Day. In 1963, it became necessary to enlarge the parliament buildings to accommodate the increased number of legislators and to cater for the second chamber. HRH, the Duke of Edinburgh, laid the foundation stone for expansion on 13th December 1963. The extensions were completed and officially opened by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, on Tuesday, the 2nd November 1965. By 1966, it was apparent that bicameralism wasn't ideal for the needs of independent Kenya. Consequently, both houses resolved upon an amendment of the Constitution of Kenya to merge the Senate and the House of Representatives. This amalgamation gave rise to a single chamber, the National Assembly. It comprised of 158 constituency elected members, 12 specially elected members, and 2 ex officio members, the Speaker and the Attorney General. 41 new constituencies were created for the serving senators. This became effective from 5th January 1967, when the House was prorogued, and upon resumption of Parliament on 15th February 1967, the National Assembly sat for the first time as a unicameral House. The first Parliament of independent Kenya ran from 1963 through to 1969 under the speakership of Sir Humphrey Slade in the House of Representatives and Honorable Timothy Chokwe in the Senate. The first Parliament was dissolved on 7th November 1969, giving way to the second general elections, which ushered in the second Parliament that sat from 1970 through to 1974 under the speakership of Honorable F.M. Marty. Leonard Ngugi served as the first clerk of the National Assembly. His Excellency the President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta died on 22nd August 1978 and was succeeded as President by Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, who dissolved the Third Parliament on 20th September 1979, and subsequent general elections were held on 8th November 1979, giving rise to the Fourth Parliament. Honorable Marty's speakership ended with the Fifth Parliament between 1983 and 1987. The Sixth Parliament, that ran from 1988 to 1992 under the speakership of Honorable Moses Arap Keino and later on Professor Jonathan Ngeno, was dissolved on 28 October 1992. Subsequent elections held in December 1992 ushered in multipartism in the 7th Parliament, which lasted until 1997. The 7th Parliament, with Honorable Francis Ole Kaparo as the 5th Speaker of post-independent Kenya, was dissolved on 10th November 1997, and the 8th Parliament elected with increased membership of 210 members during the elections of 29th and 30th December 1997. The 8th Parliament was dissolved on 25th October 2002. The elections of 2002 witnessed changes in the political leadership, where KANU, the ruling party since independence, was defeated by the NARC coalition. This paved way for the 9th Parliament that ran from 2003 to 2007, marking the end of Honorable Kaparo's speakership. The 9th Parliament lasted until 22nd October 2007, when it was dissolved, giving way to the 10th Parliament. The 10th Parliament, under the speakership of Honorable Kenneth Marende, spanned 2008 to 2012 and accommodated a coalition government. The promulgation of the 2010 Constitution saw the return of a bicameral system of parliament that was witnessed in the first post-independent parliament. It provided for the National Assembly and the Senate. As a result, the 11th Parliament has 2 speakers, one for each house. Honorable Justin Muturi is the Speaker of the National Assembly, and Honorable Ekwe Ethuro is Speaker of the Senate. Every 5 years, there are national elections and a new government formed, or the existing one returned, and a new parliament assembles. Members of parliament come and go, but the traditions, procedures, and duties of our parliament have been handed down over hundreds of years and will be with us for many years to come.